For years we've been told, stay out of debt. Debt's bad. Don't borrow money. Whatever you do, unless you absolutely need it, don't borrow your money. And I get that when it comes to high interest credit cards, payday loans, and things that you really don't need or money you don't have, and that's toxic debt. But what if that's not the full story? What if they're absolutely wrong? Well, let's chat. There's another kind of debt, and that's the kind of debt that millionaires and real estate investors utilize in order to build absolutely massive amounts of generational wealth. So let's talk about the two real quick. First things first is you're going to have your bad debt. I'm going to call it the bad D for short. For your bad debt, you're talking your credit cards. You're going to talk about payday loans, buying cars that are not making you any money, buying clothes and things you don't need that are luxuries, things like that you cannot afford, lose value the second you drive it off the lot, the second you swipe your card. Those are your bad debts. Good debt, however, we're going to put over here, are the things that put money back into your pocket. Think about rental property, stocks, if you use them right, with dividend potential. Think about other things that are going to give you investments, business, cash flow that is consistently helping you grow. So here's the thing that most people absolutely do not understand, and they completely overlook it. It doesn't matter if you have debt. Debt does not matter at all, as long as you know what that debt is doing for you. Now, let's say that you buy a house for $200,000. You're an investor, so you have to put down a 20% down payment right here, which is the equivalent of $40K, right there. You finance the rest. You've got $160K finance over here that you're paying your principal, your interest, your taxes, and your insurance, also known as your PITI. You don't have to worry about PMI because you have put down at minimum 20% on the property. So, given that, this house is going to appreciate. You put a tenant in the property. The tenant is paying your mortgage that you have here, in addition to potentially giving you some cash flow. And on top of it, over time, you're gaining equity in the market without even tying up all of your own cash. Now imagine that you did this 3 times, okay? You've used debt responsibly to control nearly $600K in real estate. But wait, remember, by the time you've had property 3, you've probably had properties 1 and 2 for a good bit of time. So with the market, you might be sitting on $750,000 in real estate assets alone with the time that you've been dealing with this. So meanwhile, there's somebody else that's out here trying to save the same $40,000 that you put into this initial property, and they're going to earn whatever they earn in a bank account, which is typically less than 1% annually compounded. So they're not really doing anything. So after that same 10-year period, if you had this, you're likely going to have at minimum $600,000 in real assets. Obviously, that's not your net unless you paid off your mortgages. But likely after 10 years, substantially more than that amount. Versus this gentleman or this woman over here who unfortunately didn't save their way the way they should. Now, don't get me wrong, there are times that debt can become very dangerous, but you always need to have a plan. For example, if you over leverage your portfolio, debt being utilized in a manner like this is called leverage. But if you over leverage your portfolio without having any plan, you don't have any money in reserves, you don't have anything of that nature, you're gonna have issues. Secondly, If you are borrowing money to fund your lifestyle, not to invest in real property or stocks or other things that are going to go up in value, you're going to have problems. If you pay more every month for your expenses than what your income is, you're also going to have issues. And worst case scenario, if for whatever reason you can't cover the payments of your investment properties, whether you're dealing with evictions, whether you're dealing with other things, then there is the other side of it. So yeah, there are times that debt can be bad, but that's if you don't respect it. That's if you don't plan for it, you don't build a savings, and you don't build a strategy and a purpose. But if you do, debt can be one of the most powerful tools that you have in your financial toolbox. If you're sitting at home on home equity right now, trying to figure out how to invest it, or you're just trying to learn how to use debt the right way, make sure that you hit subscribe. I drop videos all the time talking about how you can utilize your assets and build generational wealth for you and your family. Remember, debt is not the enemy. Ignorance is. If you learn the rules of the game, start to learn how money works, start to learn how to play things smart, and utilize tools that you have at your hands and at your fingertips, including debt, you can build the lifestyle you want. I promise you, utilizing debt has made more millionaires and multimillionaires than any other tool in the financial toolbox. Just make sure you respect it.